He says, sir, yes, sir. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Redemption 46 Studios. I'm Nick.
I'm Keith.
You know the vibes. Y'all seen the picture. Y'all seen the thumbnail. I know exactly why y'all here. ITZY RINGO. It is your first time on the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Become a real redeemer today for more content like this. Jump on the Patreon. Did the song to this. I think it got blocked. It's on their Japanese album, the first Japanese album for ITZY.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
You know, JYP has a good grasp of the Japanese market.
Mm-hmm.
Let's jump into this, have a conversation. I'd definitely like to hear how you feel about the song and the choreo.
All right.
Ladies and gents, put your hands up in the air high. Let's go. Ringo, 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 ringo. 優しい顔はそろそろ限界。きつめのコルセットも私に合わない。おじさまをストーリーライン今時じゃない。飽きた全部飽きた baby let's revive。純白なこの裏側 I wake up しくたないそのスカート burning up 誰かが書いたフレーズ夏のは such a shame 探し続ける where is my plan 簡単一人なんてもう無駄なことよ I'll be moving on So ring me ring me ring me ring me 悪にこだってswallow 怖いものはない baby 書き換える魔法は書いた知った日だお昼さまがないな強気で戦う女なんて書いてゆくわ So ring me ring me ring me ring me なぜなら自分になくはいた Yeah So ring me ring me ring me 集中
Is that a cut? It's a couple have nothing already. You just were probably so stuck. She don't need to be acting like this, man. I think it's because she do everything for them. And she like rap, sing. I'm pretty sure she's the center. I mean, they all can be the center of the universe. Shadow clone jutsu. Nah, I need to know who hit that note. So Keith, how'd you feel about their first Japanese single? Make sure you subscribe.
I thought it was good. Definitely gave me like 90s house vibes or Latin house vibes. It was a good song, definitely a good song. It's something I would download. Probably not. I would definitely put it on, but that's not to say I wouldn't put it on the playlist. But it wouldn't be something that would be in like my go-to favorites. Just hit random and let anything on there play. Like I would have to be in the mood for this shit. But all in all, it's definitely a good song. I thought all the girls killed it. And I thought everybody, when they got a chance to jump in, they definitely jumped in. The choreo was crazy. I like the choreo. A lot of hand movements, a lot of arm movements and insinuations. Obstacles to walk through, or to eat, or whatever the situation may have been. It's definitely well done and clean. But yeah, this was definitely a good track.
Well, a few things. It's funny you mentioned that like 90s and then just house music. I really think K-pop is getting into a pocket of where a lot of stuff sounds like house music. I'm pretty sure, especially for Redeemers that are older, like when the mid 80s, I'm pretty sure, and like early 90s, like that pocket when like all the house music was just coming out.
Not to be confused with EDM.
Yeah. And I feel like you'll know the difference. EDM, you just it's.
We talking about like Crystal Waters. We're talking about Ace of Base. Or Fortunately, depending on if you fuck with those songs. You know what I mean? You're talking about Be My Lover. Wanna be, you know what I mean? We talking about that sort of thing. Mr. Was it Mr. Vane? Yeah. Anything that was on MTV House.
Yeah. This joint, it was a group in Camden called Jomanda. I don't know if you've ever heard like late 80s.
Okay.
But this sounds to me just what K-pop is right now.
I think I heard the beat.
I'll send it to you. But,
it's like, you got to show me love.
yeah, and then Robin S., all those, yeah. So just all that type of music.
CCP spin a little bit.
Yeah, finally. Just funny, I have my whole nostalgia playlist.
I was say I gotta make an upbeat nostalgia playlist. I'm gonna need that shit.
Cause where'd it go? It's funny too, cause ironically the Craig David stuff came on here and stuff, but I'm pretty sure I have a run on here of some of that. You move Paul up. Party ain't a party. Rhythm of the night. It was Someday Candy Girl, Candy before I would walk out my life stream. Not promiscuous, man.
That's good.
Yeah, good vibrations, jump around, freak somebody at night. Oh Sheila, it just goes on a run. I'll send it to you.
Sounds good.
But nah, it's like I said, it's funny you mentioned that because I feel like K-pop that's kind of some of the pocket that we're in. We just had listened to the XG stuff earlier. Just not even just girl groups, like a lot of guy groups do it too. And I think sometimes, like you said, some of the house music walks a line with pop and EDM sometimes. To where you almost a sample or something away from it being something else. Yeah,
but like house music like this is more instrumentation and less electronic. So like you'll hear the horns in the background, and it'll just repeat, and you'll hear like the house be like, you know what I mean? Like the 16s and everything else, keeping the beat up pace, but you'll hear all the instrumentation as opposed to like the cold of the EDM track, you know what I mean? Like so, like that's one way to tell. But it's just good music, man.
Yeah, because it was trying to get into it when the instrumentation stopped, and then get into the doom, then the slow build up. Because the pre-chorus is actually fire shit. If you're into that, when
Shit like with a can. She's so pale.
They love it there.
Oh, they love the porcelain complexion.
I like how I get a little anthem too, like it gets a little like the crowd can get into it.
All that choreo at the end ain't gonna matter because when they break into that part, they jumping around on stage, throwing water on the crowd. Like all that choreo going right out the window. They did all this practicing just for the video, I guess, maybe if it's even in the video. But like,
It's wild. You touched this before that some people may not be able to even do this. That
the coordination.
Kind of just doing the coordination with your hands back and forth for anything because they have a lot of subtle movements.
And I swear they do a hand joint almost every video. Like she opened it up and dropped the phone. And then
no, they did it. And when our powers combined.
Well, weren't they the ones that also did the joint when they kind of like twisted their hands together like that? Mm-hmm. And they had the sky view and then they just kind of. Yeah, they definitely work with their hands or like I guess it's an apple or eating something, or they'll do like the crown. They always got something. Like what was Cheshire Cat? Like the
gang signs.
Yeah, it was like it's always something. They always find a good way to use their hands in their choreo.
Cause they just walking past the gang signs.
Big crit.
Yeah, but this is interesting. What's interesting with ITZY, and I think we talked about it on the None of My Business, Cake, and a couple other things, was that a couple of these vids, like, they need to be in the 100 millions of, like, you know what I mean? And we've seen, well, I don't want to say that. I hate diminishing other things. We've seen less do more. But, you know, they've had fire comebacks. Clearly, you know, I'm pretty sure Not Shy probably got 200 million views or something, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think that should be like a 750 and up song.
Nah, real shit. And I think last time I had a disdain for like the lack of attention that these women were getting for all these comebacks. Like literally before we jumped into this, y'all, we was doing None of My Business and Cake, and like I feel like none of them got the promotion it was supposed to get. This is a whole Japanese album, and you know this is a comeback just to kind of start the album off. So you know, and it's.
Do you think the Japanese album will help retroactively make the other numbers go up?
6 days ago, only 3 million views. And I don't know. I guess no, depending on what's going on, because most people just said that JYP, I guess, didn't market this as well as it should have with some of their newer stuff. The songs,
but you can't have a fumble like that.
And I don't know, maybe is it a situation where maybe they feel like since they're like a flag, one of the, I guess you can consider one of the flagship groups of JYP at this point. Yeah. Okay, well maybe Cake got a little bit more notoriety now. I'm going, it's 50 mil.
Well, Cake is a fucking banger.
205. Okay, I wasn't too far off and shit. 140. Respectfully. 140, respectfully. None of My Business, 8.6.
Honestly, I didn't think Sneakers was like super great, but it definitely had a lot of TikTok feed.
Another JYP flagship. And JYP got some flagship groups there.
Wow, they only got 148 on that.
You thought it'd been more.
Bruh.
Wanna Be is their biggest show. That's 500 million. See, look, Loco, 239.
Loco might have been up there.
And mind you, you know, I'm just giving numbers, but they ain't the end all be all.
It's not even. I'd have thought that'd have been a cool bill.
It's funny because I'm like, yeah, this is fine. You like, well, where's that? Look, Icy 262. Swipe 40. Blah, blah,
but it's
blah,
like you said, like when you see the talent, you expect it to be a payoff.
Yeah, and the thing is too is I always say like I don't try to scoff at any type of views because I think 8 million views is still just like, you know, damn, like 8 million people.
I'll tell you what,
watching.
I'm taking 1 million views right now.
Yeah, real ones, real views. It's probably an argument to be made. We just named like 8 videos of theirs that had over 100 million. I don't know how many K-pop groups can kind of, you know, say they have that, especially a group that debuted, I think, in 2019.
But you know what else we're doing, though, right? We're having that conversation that we sometimes have in basketball, that we sometimes have in football. when we're comparing people to like the greatest of the era, and it's not to say that they're not, but they're doing really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not, eclipsing some of the numbers that the top tier OG sitting on the throne with the crown echelon groups are producing, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But we always want to compare them to them.
Yeah, I think my frustration is probably more so with the newer content than older content, if that makes sense. Because like I said, anytime you had a comeback and you had over 100 million views, and with them clearly they in the 2s or 3s, and one video is 500 million, I'm pretty sure it's probably an upper echelon of maybe, and I'm spitballing, 6 or 7 girl groups with a song that has 500 million views or more. You'd probably be hard pressed to find. One is probably in house with them,
Right. Right.
and a couple are across the street. You know what I mean? So I guess my issues is that, all right, transparency. There are some groups when in 2020 I heard music, and I think some of the music that I heard from some of them groups aren't better than the music they had in 2020. Still good content and still like good songs, but not great compared to some of the songs that I heard in 2020. And I'm not saying that any of this is better than like Not Shy or any of that, but to me, a lot of this music is on par with that, and some of the numbers aren't reflecting that. And like I said, I'm pretty sure a lot of Redeemers was saying just because of how some of the things were marketed, and I guess that a couple of these songs weren't really marketed as like big comebacks. They just were kind of like, hey, we're still here.
This is my thing, right? We've seen some of these groups or some of these labels, they don't have a full plate. And even the ones that do have a full plate, most of them are sectioned off into like different subsections or subsidies. There's no excuse for you not to have a top 20 act in K-pop and not market them correctly. And you can say, oh yeah, well they got so and so and so. There's no excuse if you have a top 20 act in K-pop that you can't market them correctly. Because I tell you what, I might have a new group coming out, but if I got ITZY coming out and like their top 3 as far as sales from my record label and top 10 as far as girl groups, guess where my attention is going?
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things too, and I guess Redeemers, y'all might have a little bit more information. I'm pretty sure if you JYP, as far as quote-unquote marketing goes, each group, especially a big flagship group, should have its own like marketing team and developers and people who are kind of doing everything, you know what I mean? So this shouldn't fall under somebody being like, yo, I was so burnt out from doing that Stray Kids comeback that, I wasn't able to get the ITZY homework done.
Stray Kids should have a dedicated group. Twice should have a dedicated group.
I'm pretty sure NMIX has one. Is it Day 6 that's on the label with them too? They have rock groups. Definitely, who's the boys that did Strawberry Shortcake? Extraordinary Heroes.
Yeah, Extraordinary Heroes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Ciders.
Yeah, Extraordinary Heroes is like I said on there. We just I think no. They cool as far as everything else. That was okay. That's one. I think they're with Connects or one of the. At least
Other
I think
groups.
so. Yeah. But all those groups we name and shit should definitely have like their own PR, people, marketing, and everything that gets ready for all these rollouts. Just because this is amazing, and it's just I kind of would want more eyes on this. That's my spill. I just want to put you on some dope shit.
No, thank you, appreciate it.
Well, more content on the way. So jump in the comments, y'all. Tell us how y'all felt about this. Hopefully this isn't blocked too. Jesus Christ.
That's a hell of a shot.
Let us know who your bias is in Twice.
You know who your bias is.
I said Twice.
You definitely did.
It made me look twice. My brain froze. All this earthy goodness here that God put here. Tell us who your bias is within ITZY, and let us know how y'all feel about all the comebacks that's been going on. Obviously, I've been campaigning for those numbers and everything to go up. I I feel like I'm responsible for 1,000 views apiece for all these songs. Definitely I wanna see that whole album drop.
Oh, the Japanese one. No, just a single.
Yeah, just this and a joint called Trust Me, which is probably a song that was out already, just a different version of it.
Oh, Japanese version.
Earthiness, just some goodness.
No misses, man. Not a one.
But yeah, y'all, we love y'all. We gonna holla at y'all. Peace and hair grease. Ringo. I think that's a movie
Ringo, yeah, with the gecko.
with the gecko, the western.
Who played Jack Sparrow?